Hi guys, and welcome to the introduction episode to my working resources tutorial series. So, in this short series, I am going to cover the very basics of working resources, from how you can get started, what you need to do to earn money, and then what to do once you've reached a certain point in the game and how to improve and earn more money or develop your city further. In this series, I'm going to be showing you how to play the game from the easy mode with the more complex systems like education, fuel and energy all enabled. So if you want to play this game even easier, you can still follow this series but just turn off some of the features. If you're experienced with the most basic parts of working resources and so you understand the basic concept, the basic currencies and what the game really is, you can probably skip this video, as this is just a simple video to really explain the very basics, just so newer players understand what they're getting themselves into, because this game is quite complicated in certain areas, especially more complicated than City Skylines if you've played that. But if you are brand new to the game, this is the perfect video for you, and it should be nice and quick. So I'm going to first start off by just saying what map to pick. I've got quite a few workshop maps, as you can see here, but you will start off with random map, flatland with hills, and then the Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe and flatland with hills will stay the same every single time, whereas random map is random, but you can customize different parts, like how much wooden there is, the range of terrain, all that sort of stuff. But what I'm going to start off today is just flatland with hills. Here we've got the different things you could enable or disable, and also the difficulty, such as like the money amounts and how satisfied people are. So like I said, I'm going to enable all the stuff that makes the game harder, but put the money and satisfaction levels down, because I feel it's important for new players to be able to play the game with the more complex features enabled. Not only is it more fun, but it just adds more content, but leaving the money amount on easy and unsatisfied citizens' reaction to easy or reasonable, just so if you make mistakes or don't fulfill certain things, you won't be penalised too hard. So, money amount easy, unsatisfied citizens' reaction on small, or reasonable if you feel a little bit more ballsy. I'm going to leave it on easy for this, but we're going to put energy management on buildings and vehicles. What this means is buildings will require fuel, and we will need to power buildings with energy lines. That's quite easy. Season, summer and winter, we're going to enable winter. Winter means that in the winter time, snow will land on the roads, and boy does that slow your vehicles down. So that adds a new area you need to deal with snow plows. So again, enable that. Building fires, we're going to put that on frequent. Global events, it enables things like price changes and epidemics, which means you need more people, more doctors. Doesn't really matter. If you don't want it, I'd say disable that for now. Pollution enabled. Starting year 1960s, it just means there's less vehicles to have to worry about, so there's less choice, which just makes things a bit easier. And then finally, education complex, which means we need to actually build universities and have kindergartens and all these buildings so we can have more workers. So with that all done, let's start. Okay guys, so we are on the map now, and when you spawn in right in the middle of the map. If you come down to the bottom right and you click show minimap, you can get the whole minimap, and you can left click where you want to go, and it will take you there quite quickly. If we come to the edge of the maps, we can see the borders. So in the north, we've got the NATO border, or the western border. The western border is where we can export goods for dollars, and you can see we start with less dollars, and then the Russian border, or the Soviet border I should say, USSR border is over here, where we can export goods for rubles, which is the main currency, at least especially in the 1960s to 1970s range. And what the difference in the currencies is certain vehicles require certain spending. So Western vehicles from like France or the US, they will require you to spend it in dollars, and Russian vehicles in rubles. But for buildings, you can spend it in both. So if we come down and we place a house, you can see that this will cost us 23,000 rubles, or we can spend it in dollars and it costs us $35,000. And the spending is based off of how far away you are from each border. So that's why the rubles was cheaper because over here we're much closer to the Russian border, the Soviet border, than we are to the NATO border over there. So there are two ways of playing this game. There is the sort of City Skylines SimCity way, which is what I'm sure you will be expecting to play it, or at least at first. This is where you get a building, and you place it down, and you place this one down, we turn the game on, and they build. And then you build some roads, they construct, you've got all your stuff here, oh, whoops. And then you've got your city, and if we speed it up, we'll get some houses. This is the basic way and the easy way of playing this game. And you can see we've got some houses and we've got some people. The other way, and the much more hardcore, but I find a lot more fun, and I feel you will want to play once you get a bit more experienced, is the more realistic way. There's a Steam guide called Cosmonaut, which gives you some basic rules to follow. A really hardcore way of playing it, but we'll call it the Cosmonaut way of playing it, is where you build your very basic industry. So if we come to construction up here, and then construction related industry, you get your very basic industry down, which you auto build. And then once you've got that down, and you've got your construction office and your other buildings, every other building must be constructed from the starting industry building. So that is a lie. Not every single building. You'll build small little area to supply workers and other things. But once you've got all the necessities, everything else is built by your machines and your workers. This includes asphalt roads, gravel roads, bridges, parking lots, absolutely everything. That is why this game's really interesting, because I've never seen a game like it that forces you to not just auto build stuff, but actually construct them yourself. But there is a benefit to constructing stuff yourself, because it's cheaper and it gives you your people jobs. So that is a thing to think about. Even if you are playing in this normal, what I call a City Skylines way of playing it, you may find it interesting to build some buildings, or more expensive buildings yourself. But I'm not going to do that for this tutorial series. So the aims in Workers and Resources is to simply make money. It's a bit like City Skylines and SimCity. There are no goals, there are no sort of objectives. You set your own objectives. So if you want to build a city with 30,000 people in it, takes up a large part of the map, you do that. If you want to complete all the industries, so we come to construction, there's loads. We've got the sort of mining industries with coal, gravel and iron. We've got various industries which has the wood and the clothing, and once we research it in the universities, we've got electronics, so we can end up making our own radios, and also going on to making cars with the engineering industry. So you could decide you want to make all the industries, all the production lines for all of that, or you may just decide you want to play until you make a certain amount of money. That's up to you, but that is what to expect in Workers and Resources as your objectives. So to finalise this video, this is like I said, covering the very basics. To finalise this video, what I will be covering in my tutorial series is how to set up a basic housing area, how to connect your housing area and your industries of bus routes, what buildings you should construct, like what are necessary buildings or even like fundamental buildings you need for your people to live happily, how you can make money, or at least money in the early game, and how you can get started in the early game, but also then transitioning that into the more mid-game where you've got your stable start sorted out. And finally, I'll just give some tips and some tricks about the game, because there was a lot of things that really slowed me down that I didn't know about that I'd just like to share with you guys. So that's what I'm going to be covering. If you are interested, check them out. I will link them in the description, and I'll make a playlist for you to follow them. And if you guys enjoy this and you learn how to play the game, but you still want to watch along to learn a bit more, I can do a longer tutorial series just to show in detail how everything is, because I am going to try and go over these topics quite quickly for this short tutorial series. So guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you've at least got some more understanding of what Workers and Resources is about, and you're interested and excited to learn more in my other videos. So, I'll see you then.